Blues, they've been hit with a 74-point count charge again.
These guys are fraudsters.
They have issues with that.
They are fraudsters.
No, I have issues with that, guys. I have issues with that because we have a team that has been labeled with 115-point count charges, and yet nothing has happened.
And these guys are they are, how can I say, the Russian magnates. They are the Russian. There is this cabal in Russia. How do they call this cabal in Russian? Anyways, let's leave for another day. But
I'm
what
talking about the oligarchs.
not the oligarchs, the Russian mafia.
Mhm.
I don't know. Do you have you also seen them taking advantage of whatever loophole they saw somewhere by offering long-term contracts to players?
Yeah, no, those guys.
There was
are
this player they
something
even signed for 9 years.
else. And also, you recall Modric that decided to go to Chelsea. They gave him
Exactly.
7 years. So even if he's going to be banned from football, as we already know from the dope test that he failed, you still have some.
But now they are feeling the effects. They want to get Raheem Sterling off their books.
They cannot.
They cannot.
And I love that guy.
And the man will just hit
Kabasi, I'm
and
not going anywhere. I'm going to chop this money. I'm chopping this money. Anyways, it is what it is. The weekend promises to be a super weekend. And Arsenal will be coming up against Nottingham Forest. And Nottingham Forest just recently they decided to give Nuno Espirito the boot. And is in. And Nuno Espirito, they have, how do I call it? They have a likable experience. Both sides coach Spurs, and they were giving the boots, And for one, he wasn't doing well, even though he did not take them to 16th position. They wanted to take them to 16th position and help Spurs to clean the dirty cabinet. And now they have a trophy on the cabinet. And somehow, Danny Levy, who also have decided to leave, is no longer there. And he was given the boot and Thomas Frank comes in. Now, Arsenal is going to be playing against Nottingham Forest for Spain. What do you think from the handbrake football that we played against Liverpool at Anfield?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that Mikel Arteta should do? Because the good thing about the international break is that all the players that played for Arsenal during the international break and played for their countries, everyone returned unscarred, no injury. That's the plus for them. But looking at the way we play with the handbrake at Anfield, what do you think that Mikel Arteta should do in order to get the reading back? Because that was a match that got every Arsenal fan upset.
Yeah. So yesterday I was on another African platform. They asked me for my prediction and probably just my say for that particular match. One thing I told them was I think Arsenal should go into every match with the mentality that we should win. We should be dominant from the word go. We should start with blistering pace. We should be very effective with our press right from the start, and we should be merciless. This will bring back the fear factor. I remember during the Visible Days, there were teams that were facing Arsenal. The discussions in their locker room were centered around, let's not concede more than 4 goals. Let's not concede more than 3 goals.
That's no longer the case now.
That's no longer the case. And that is what I want to see again, the fear factor.
So invariably, you're saying that Arsenal should have the audacity to go to any ground.
And from Liverpool downwards, we should just have the mindset. Exactly. We should just have the mindset that we can go to any ground. You can come to our ground and just be fearful that let's not be beaten mercilessly. I think on paper, we have the best squad in the league right now in terms of depth, quality in depth. We have the best squad. We should let that show.
Okay, thank you very much. Don't forget, fans, that you are watching the Offside, brought to you by Arsenal Fans View. And we have with us a man that will always say abuse. It upsets me that I have to say somehow it is what it is.
The Blues never lose.
I love the brothers. Well, they're doing well. Now, you guys have Enzo Maresca, and so far, Enzo Maresca has been able to do something formidable in the team, taking the team from the way Graham Potter left it, Pochettino came, and somehow he's been able to manage the team. He created what we now know in the Premier League as a bomb squad. And so far, there are a lot of players that are suffering from that squad, that bomb squad, people like Ramsey, even though he's making his money. And you also have the likes of, I think, is it Eze, Gochukwu Eze, or whatever. And you have some couple of good players in the team. Now you have a challenge. Palmer is out, and there's one other player also that is also injured. I think there was an injury scare for João Pedro, who has been finding a scoring boots with Chelsea. And you also have Dilap is out. How do you think you can go to Brentford Community Stadium and see how you can nick a goal? I have an issue, considering the fact that you people have a challenge in your defense, especially in your central part of the defense. And now you're playing against a set piece coach. Kit Andrews used to be the set piece coach for what's it called for Brentford when Thomas Frank chose to employ him. And when Thomas Frank decided to go to the other divide in London, joining Spurs, the guys at Brentford just felt that look, let us do this thing internally and bring the guy forward. So with the way your defense is, do you think you guys have the capacity to go to Community Stadium and make a victory?
Um, take a look at our previous matches. My only worry or fear for now is if we start poorly in our previous matches.
Right.
That was the point. We start our performance within the first 15-20 minutes was sluggish. And coming from the international breaks, most of our players were involved in international breaks, playing for their respective countries. I think Maresca has to make tougher decisions, especially when it comes to some big players. Even before the international break, we see the third legs of Enzo. We see even Caicedo. Even when he was on international breaks, he was worried. He even sent out a message to Caicedo.
But so hold on there. Do you
Yeah.
think, talking about tired leg, do you think that this is like the after effect of playing in the Club World Cup?
Yes,
Because you guys played the Club World Cup, and the next thing you went for preseason. I think these guys are not machines, you know.
I told you, I said, I expect us to start slow. Even up to after 3 games, we have yet to lose a game, but we've dropped some points. So for me, I think we are really managing it well. But yeah, it has to come to a time where he has to say, okay, let me start introducing fresh leg. Okay, you play Caicedo, but don't give Caicedo 90 minutes. You
That
can
guy,
even
that guy is the linchpin.
He's
of
the
the
linchpin, but you have to think of the long term run. Okay, let's say in the first by 70 minutes, Chelsea's 3 goals up. Would you take the risk of taking Caicedo out, or you just want to push him there until it is 90
Okay,
minutes?
hold on there.
What if you go into a game
Hold on.
and get injured?
Hold on.
You can risk him for the next 20 minutes, then you risk him for the end of the season.
Now this man is
So these
talking,
are it.
this man is talking about resting Caicedo, but we know for speed that the Blues, they have close to 49 players on loan, and you have formidable players, personnel in depth. So do you think it is ideal for the guys from Chelsea to start complaining about resting players? Because what was the essence of signing multiple players if at the end of the day you're thinking about resting players and you cannot bring players from the bench for them to do the same
Well,
thing?
you're still stuck in my point.
They can
I don't
only,
want us to only rely on one player. And the moment the player is out, it affects the entire team. Before Enzo Maresca came to Chelsea, our team was known to be Kulpama FC. When Maresca came in, it changed our narrative. So even without Palmer,
So
we
you are
can
what
see
FC now?
we are Chelsea FC now. We are definitely Chelsea FC. Palmer is a key player. We cannot dispute that.
Okay.
But
I think-
under Pochettino, it was clearly seen that without Palmer, we cannot even meet a point, let alone win a game.
Okay, we'll come back to you.
I think Chelsea have been gluttonous in recent transfer windows, going in for players that they don't need. for two reasons: one, to destabilize opponents, and two, for business or market reasons. Um, it has worked out for them on the marketing front, having higher resale value for most of their players. You look at the Jackson, who nobody wants. If you talk to fans, I'm not talking about the technical guys, but we talk to fans here. No club side in England will want to sign Jackson and see the whooping amount that was levied on his transfer, where would be possible transfer to Bayern next season. And you look at even how they managed to to brainwash us to make a heavy outlay on
We
Kai
didn't bring
Havertz.
brainwash you.
On Kai Havertz, how they managed to brainwash
No, we
us
didn't brainwash you.
to take Raheem Sterling away from them for a whole season. Whatever they are doing in terms of the business aspect, they are doing very well.
Yeah.
But now they have a lot of players on their hands, but I think they lack cutting edge quality players. You look at the whole Chelsea lineup, you like for like, you look at the first and the second, they lack the quality that they may be looking out for. For me, I think it's high time for them to start signing not only, there was something I was hearing, the difference, I heard something this morning, that the difference between Edu and Bata at Arsenal, Edu was signing players. But Edu was signing players, he was targeting players. While Bata is targeting position. When he targets this position, he draw up a list of potential players that we want to sign. While Edu will mark this player and say, this is the player I want. It's not about position. It's about going after specific players. So I feel like Chelsea should, at some point, refine what they are looking out for. I'm even very much confident that the Arsenal B team can give Chelsea a run for their money right now, man for man, like for like. So I think it's something they have to look at.
With regards to the market aspects, I will agree with you that from my own point of view as a Chelsea fan, I see our owners are more focused on the business aspects of it. One, the contracts that are given out to players and the age they're going out. I think all these signings they're doing, it puts the pressure on the coach, on the manager. They don't care how he's going to do it once he delivers or once he manages. I think bringing in Maresca, that was the ideal purpose of bringing in Maresca, because they want to bring in young players, inexperienced. They know Maresca has got the experience of coaching younger players, bringing the best out of them and managing them well. From Manchester City, going back to Leicester, we see the potential. So over time, coming into this Premier League, now we've qualified for Champions League. And at this point, as you said, I agree with you. We need to come in with top quality players. It's not just about you managing these young boys. Because no matter how, there has to be rivalry. But you got that quality players you have to be dependent on. Then it will help.
And I want to be on record for a few seconds. Chelsea are going to suffer a little bit this season, the EPL. Fatigue is going to take a toll.
Good. That's another point.
Fatigue is going to take a toll on them.
That's another point. Then hold on. You made mention of them not having players with a cutting edge. So it brings to mind the question, I start pondering, why would a club side, a coach, have a player like Noni Madueke? Because when you talk about players with a cutting edge, we saw what Noni did recently for England in the 2 matches he played. He was the most direct playing candidate on that pitch. Even when he played against Liverpool, he was the player that had that direct way of going at his opponent.
Yes.
So why would a team that truly want to make a mark, you guys are champions, club champions, and you have a player like that?
Bro, go easy on the World Championship.
Yeah,
that is not a thorough competition. Where you don't have the champions of Spain, where you don't have
Your-
the champions.
your
No,
opinion,
The
no.
champions
They are
of
on
you
paper.
have
They are
no.
on paper.
where, no,
No,
bro.
that opinion, you have the right to
Where
your
you don't
opinion. But
have
let
the
me come in.
champions of England.
On
No.
paper.
On
paper.
the champions of
The
England,
champion of
the
England,
champions
we
of
defeated
Spain,
them in the
the
Premier
champions
League.
of Italy. My
Anyways,
brother, that's not a thorough
So-
competition.
Let's go.
Let's
Let's go.
forget
I
about
think
the-
you're
the
making a
World
very good point
Championship.
here, but let's
That's a hoax competition.
let's take perspective here, right? Madueke played in Chelsea for barely 3 years or 2, and he was the starting option. It was the first choice. But you see, when we signed Pedro Neto showed much more commitment and much more effort.
But on current.
No, I'm
status of
coming.
playing.
I'm coming. So when managers make choices, it's purposely. Sometimes it's sentimental. I can agree, but other times it's based on performance and consistency. Madueke was not giving us 90 minutes.
Okay.
It was good. It was direct. He still
What
got
is
his
Pedro
qualities.
Neto's position?
He's
Where
playing
does he play at
He's
Chelsea?
also playing at the right, where Madueke is playing.
No, I see Pedro Neto play
No,
predominantly from the left.
No, it's sometimes you switch him over, but he was playing where Madueke is playing.
So one question before Ken
Yeah.
comes in. Were you pleased when Arsenal signed Madueke?
Me personally, no.
Yeah, personally. Were you pleased?
Personally, no.
All right, thank
Because I
you.
wanted him to be in the club.
Thank you.
But it was better. He wanted to leave.
Okay, now
So we
talking
respect
about
that.
Ospi spoke about something that Chelsea is going to really suffer sometime during this league, and there are 35 matches to go now. 35 good matches to go, inclusive when by the time you add the what's it called, Champions League competition
And the
matches
cup
all that,
competitions.
competitions.
Yeah,
You're gonna have about 60 plus matches. to
I
go.
think that will happen. Like I said, before the speak came in, I made a point. Wherein we have to rely on one player exhausting this player, it's bound to happen. But he has, like you say, we've got 40 plus players. Give more players chance. Give them time to play.
No, you don't have the
Rotation.
40. You don't have
No,
you don't
it's
have
not-
access to that pool anymore.
No, but we've got 20
you only
something
yes,
more.
you only register I think 23 players.
So 23 players,
that's
you
the
rotate.
pool that you are looking at.
23 players, you rotate them.
So
Then you get ample time.
And do you know why you were crying just now about Caicedo not being rotated? Because the lack of quality.
Yes, but we
So
can
that
manage
is what is going to affect. No.
We can manage
That
it.
was what we are doing in previous seasons at Arsenal. That was affecting us. Because if you take out Bukayo Saka, who is coming in?
Nobody.
If you take out Saliba,
But you
who is
never
coming
took
in?
out Bukayo Saka.
Well, that's the point. Just
that's
as
my
what
point
you
I'm
are
making.
complaining
Let's
about right now.
Let's take him out.
And it took a toll on us.
Let's take him
Did
out.
not have a key replacement, but now Bukayo can be rested for matches, and there are formidable players there. That
Exactly.
can close to what is given.
And this was my argument initially also. I told you.
But the point now is that, that's the same thing that Ospi said, that you guys don't have players with a cutting edge. Because if you pull out Caicedo from that midfield, there's a yawning gap in
There is a gap, but
because that guy, he plays like a Trojan beyond what even Enzo Fernandez gives to you.
of
guys.
course,
So
he's
you
the
pull
main
him
man.
out, the reason why people are not being able to identify the challenge in your central defense, that middle of the park, where you have Cole Will, you have
It's because of Caicedo.
It's because Caicedo is on top of his game. If you pull out
He's
Caicedo,
that shield
he's that shield that is shielding
in front of that defense.
in front of the fence. So it's difficult for anybody to see the shortfalls, of Chelsea defense.
I agree with that. And that's why even when making a point, I said the coach must take that stand. Like, give an example. If Chelsea is 3 goals up in a game and it's 70 minutes, we've got like 10 or 20 minutes more to go. You can take the risk. You can take Caicedo out. You can put on players just to manage the game.
We hope you guys are not going to call for the head of Enzo Maresca when he does that.
No. Enzo Maresca, one thing I know, and he's also saying it on press conferences, he said Chelsea is a club with a winning mentality and Chelsea wants results. He's conscious of that. He knows he's not going there for 30 or 20 years. So anytime he falls short, the club will make a decision on him.
The Premier League doesn't have winning mentality. They don't come to win.
No, maybe other clubs, some coaches are more comfortable that they will be there for 10, 20 years.
Viewers, don't forget that this is the Offside brought to you by Arsenal Fans League. It's an opportunity for you to go to the comment section, make your comments count. Let us know what you think about what Mickey of the Blues never lose the saying about his club. And now we're going to be talking about the Premier League proper, where over the weekend, Arsenal will be coming up against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest will be coming up in that game with a makeshift pattern because they've been used to what Nuno Espirito gives to them. But Evangelo Manicaris feels that, look, we need to do more. We need to play more entertaining football. We need to take the game to our opponents. We need defensively, we have to be solid. We need to win more things because you look at his comments when Ant came in. He said that considering the fact that year after year they've done a lot of remarkable things, that this journey that they're embarking on, that they're confident that Ant is going to be the one that will take them through the journey. And what is the journey? It's all about the winning trophies. Now, this match is the make or mar match for Arsenal, just like I reiterated earlier, because of the handbrake football that Arteta played. And just some few minutes ago, you spoke about we playing with audacity. We've spoken about it that if you have to be a title-winning club, you must have the audacity to go to your opponent's ground and make that win. On your ground, take everybody to the cleaners. But unfortunately, we play with the handbrake. Now, looking at this game, Ant is somebody that is known with that philosophy of playing with a very good defense backline. And he tries as much as possible to mix it up with some level of entertaining football. But now with a team like Nottingham Forest with Austin Odoi, Morgan Gibbs, and the likes of them, and I think Kyle Owoni is injured or is still playing. I think he's still not injured. How do you think Mikel Arteta should line up in this game? Because this is a must-win game, and the fans are not going to hear no story for this game.
All right, to start with, I'm not sure Nuno lost his coaching responsibilities at Nottingham Forest because of lack of achievement. In fact, he's the first manager in the history of the EPL to double his point tally from the previous season to the next season. That was a huge achievement.
And he also took them to Europe.
Yes. I feel like there could have been a little bit of power struggle. This is something that is not in the public domain. But the Edu effect had its own impact on that kind of decision. But also listening to other media houses, I understood that most of the Nottingham Forest players, the stars, the big guys, are a little bit resentful to the appointment of, and not necessarily to the appointment of Ange, but to the dismissal of Nuno.
And they sent good messages to him, especially the captain, is it Moreno or so?
Yeah,
the Spanish
and
guy.
and so they are a little bit skeptical. There could be a little bit of split in the squad right now. Most of the players do not agree with the decision of dismissing Nuno because Nuno had a stamp on that team. He had his authority. They were playing his brand of football, and Forest was no pushover in the league for especially last season. So coming to Arsenal, Edu would be hell bent to prove a point that he was right to go to Forest. But also looking at the transfer activities, I think Arsenal fans will be saying we feel the opposite thing about this because what Bata has done in one transfer window, whether the managers were backing Edu previously or not, but what Bata has achieved outweighs everything that Edu did at Arsenal. I remember a year when we wanted to sign Rafinha. We bought at the deal at the 11th hour and he went to Barcelona. Barcelona came in late. They snatched him. Then we earmarked another person. That was Modric in January. When we missed out on him in the summer, we went for Modric in January. We dilly-dallied and Chelsea came in at the 11th hour. Then we went now and got a third choice in the mold of Trossard. That could never be better. It can never happen under his watch. So I think I do want to prove a point that he is with a side now that can pose threats to Arsenal. They ideally would pose a threat because they have this big man up front in Chris Wood, who is very physical. He has eye for goal. The man is not aging. He's over 30, but he's playing as if he's in his 20s.
Very formidable in the air.
So what I expect Arteta to do is to play to our strength. Forget the opponent. We have highly technical and highly skilled players. Let's make use of them. Just make sure that you use Madueke, use Rice, and you start easy somewhere and the Gyökeres. And also, if we could play, because I still feel that Gyökeres has some weight on his shoulder as it is. Let's try to see how best we can feed him off. In his national team and previously at Sporting, he had almost like two identical number 10s playing behind him, who almost always fed him, and he was feeding off their passes. Odegaard can do that. We saw what he did in the international break, and I saw fans asking, so Odegaard can make this kind of passes. He did. He had like 2 assists in that
I'm sure
match.
with the new haircut, he decided to be a new man.
Probably. So let's just set up. I don't know who, because right now we are so rich in terms of resources and personnel, and this is the best time to be an Arsenal fan. So I don't really care who starts on that pitch, because these days we cannot even predict who is going to start in the Arsenal lineup. I don't care who starts. Let's go to winning mentality and let's get those 3 points and keep a clean sheet.
Okay, let's go with a winning mentality and keep it clean sheet. Still doesn't want to know who is going to start, but we're going to come back to you because you're going to give us your lineup for the match and let us know what your scoreline prediction will be. We'll come to the man from the views. Now, Enzo Maresca, you were talking about resting some players. So how
Definitely.
do you think Enzo Maresca should approach this match against Brentford?
I think one, like I told you, some players need to be rested. Definitely, he has to make that bold decision. Our past 3 games, we started slow, and if we go into this game again with us sluggish start and we conceive a goal, we'll most likely drop points in that game. So if he's going to gamble, let him gamble early and make the necessary correction as the game build up. But if he's going to start on a slow footing and think you just niche and go, I don't think so. Because this team, Brentford, we know how they play. These long balls, aerial threats, and we've been very poor when it comes to these aerial threats. In terms of set pieces, most of the goals we are conceiving easily comes from these set pieces. So if you're going to play a team that knows how to do this, and most of their goals are coming from these little chances, then you really need to put. And second, I think he needs to know his backline. I've seen game after game we are just gambling with our backline. Yes, of course. By now, you will know who fit best with this. Who can pair well with Cowell? Who can pair well with Chaloba? What's the tempo of the game? What kind of game? And we are trying to build from the back. When I see his play, it's good we are building from the back, but our attack line is not pressing. So even if you build from the back and we go attack, we just have to do the circling, just passing balls. We want to see the Chelsea way of playing, not just possession. Let it be productive. Let's see the keeper making some saves.
Do you even have an identical way of playing?
Yes.
That's the question I wanted
No,
to
we've
ask
got
you.
an identical. We've seen
Which
under
one?
Maresca. It's not so much one of attacking, but it's midfield centered. Whenever you see the midfielders possessing the game, you see that we're on it. Yes, everybody's
The
pressing.
point is,
It's more of the
you
midfield.
are just building your play around certain players in the middle of the pack.
It's the middle of the pack, so it's more midfield focused.
So you become more predictable now.
We are not going to be in a position wherein always you have to dominate midfield. But
That's
where we
yes,
but where we
so
can
you don't
get
dominate it game after game. So what's the strength?
So that's why I'm also calling on the attack. If the attack could be pressing the defense line to make errors, that will help in certain games. But if we have to rely only on the midfield, then it will cost us when we meet games, teams sitting deep.
Okay, you've given your view of what you expect from them. We're going to come back to you. We're going to give us your lineup for the game. We're going to come back to Ospi now. Ospi, we're coming to that position where we're going to be looking at what our first 11 should be. considering the fact that we are. I hate to say this all the time, but each time I look back at that match at Anfield, I just felt that we just went to Anfield and threw away 3 points. But those are points that would have just knocked and handle the guys from Anfield as if they're babies. It is what it is.
And these are defending champions.
It doesn't matter. They were jittery. They were jittery. If you remember the last show we had, you made mention that you acknowledged the fact that we had close to 7 set pieces in the first half, and they never had any shot on target throughout the entire first half. We had them, just that we were playing with the handbrake.
They didn't have any touch in our 18-yard box
So
for over
we were
35
playing with
minutes
the
in the first
handbrake.
half.
We should have beaten
You know.
them because they were scared. And Slots came into that game doggedly by playing with the handbrake too. But my annoyance is that we had them at our mercy. We just allowed them go. So now this match at Emirates is a match we're going to be playing for our home fans. And personally, I want to see one remarkable player. If you say ask me, I still want Odegaard to sit out. Let him sit out. He's gone to Norway. Let him rest. Why did you buy
coming back.
Chelsea? Why did you decide to
You're
ask
coming back.
Trossard not to go? Not to leave, and you decide to increase the salary. It's because you want him. You think he's good enough. So let us give these players that. So give us what you think would be your starting 11 for this game, going for all our victory, and you tell us what your scoreline prediction will be.
All right. To start with, I feel like we'll be having an attacking formation. Where we'll be having Raya at the back, Timber. Raya will be in the post, between the post, Timber right back. Mosquera will partner Gabriel in the central defense. And at left back, we'll have the resurgent Calafiori, who is playing the football of his life right now. And in the middle of the park, we'll be having Zubi as usual. I'm glad that Nogard is back. So when Nubi will be running out of gas, Nogard will be there to complement. He'll be like the throttle. He'll bring the physical aspect to his game as well. And we have, unfortunately, we are going to start with our captain, that I can say. Had it been for my opinion, he will sit out this game. But let's see if his form with his national team, or the Norwegian national team, will translate into his form, post this international break. So I'll still say Odegaard, Rice, and Zubi will be in the middle of the pack. Madueke is predominantly expected to start in Saka's position on the right-hand side. And I expect us to give a rousing home debut to Eze, who might start on the left-hand side. And we have Gyökeres as our pointed striker. That is my preferred 11. But, Arteta can tinker with his side at any time. So let's just hope that it goes with whatever.
Your scoreline prediction for the game?
We should defeat Forest by 4 goals to 0.
Wow. That's massive.
It is.
That's massive.
This is the second time in 24 hours I've
Okay.
stated that. We should be able to keep a clean sheet. If we don't keep a clean sheet, okay. But we are not going to score less than 4 goals versus Spurs. And I will also predict my match scorers. I expect Gyökeres, Eze, and Madueke to be on the score sheet.
Wow.
And the Chelsea
So
man
bold,
is jealous
so
now.
bold, so bold, so bold.
And the Chelsea man is jealous.
So bold.
I'm on record. You guys are watching.
So confident.
All
Anyways,
right.
I'm okay with the lineup. The only aspect where I differ is the aspect I feel Arteta should be ruthless. He should be able to give Odegaard some moment to rest. Let him rest. He can come in the second half of the game or towards the 9 minutes. He's flown far away to Norway, and so let us give him some level to rest and play other guys there. We'll have a Waneri will begin to have maybe young man to start.
Do you know how far Ranieri flew over the international break for the England under 21s?
I know. Anyways, now let's come to the Blues never lose.
Of course.
The man don't even have a starting 11.
Of course.
Imaginary lineup. Give us your imaginary lineup.
No, we have. I already know our starting 11.
All right, let's go.
I only hope Maresca will make some changes because most of our players were on the international duties.
We had
And
more players on
coming back-
international duty than you guys.
No,
so don't use that as an
most of our
excuse.
major players, and I want to see them rest.
All right.
Because even before, the first player I want to see rest, I want to see Enzo resting. Because
Okay.
Enzo, even before that, it was falling off.
Okay.
It was
You
losing
don't
pace.
want Caicedo to rest again.
And Caicedo also, he gave everything. But
If you
I
guys
know
rest Enzo and Caicedo,
it's a gamble.
I can bet my life that you guys are going to be pummeled. by
No,
Brentford.
it's a gamble. We can manage it to certain minutes, and we
Okay,
do.
But
But I know-
Brentford have not been super this season though. Except
So-
alright, there is a London derby. Anything can happen.
anything can happen. It's true. But because of the way their defense is, that's why I want you to.
No, I'm not so worried about that defense. I know
All
from
right.
the defense, I
Give us
know
your starting 11.
All right,
I know
shoot.
Chalobah definitely.
Okay.
It will give Chalobah a chance. Maybe it will come in with
Your goalkeeper.
Tosin. Of course, we already know Sanchez.
Okay,
It's
Sanchez.
definitely
All right.
that's definite.
I tried back.
Sanchez. Then we go with Cucurella and Gusto. I don't think he's going to start Rich James. Maybe he wants to drift him in the midfield. Maybe as
That's
the
what we see
games
in this
as the games
footballing
goes on.
sometimes.
If he's going to start, I think Gusto will be a starting player.
All right.
In the midfield, definitely he's going to play Caicedo. No injuries, so he's going to play him. He's also going to play Enzo, which I'm against, but he will do so. And we talk about our wing, of course. I think Estavo will come in, definitely. We also got the new man making his debut. I'm expecting him to start. We talk of Garnacho. I'm expecting Garnacho to start. I'm also expecting João Pedro in our attack. And
You don't have all that.
Neto.
They are,
The lap is
He's
out.
injured, right?
It's out.
Do you have? Is that Estavio?
Estavo.
Estavo. Where do you expect him to play?
He's playing the 10 role. He's playing the number 10
They
role.
can also play on the right wing.
He can also play, but he's putting him on the 10 role behind the striker for now.
So he's
So
in-
we're going to go at Garnacho and Pedro having the wings
Okay.
in order to sort that. So that's my expected lineup.
On your scoreline prediction.
Definitely we are going to win. It's going to be a tough match for us. Definitely I expect it because I'm expecting some kind of sluggish play. So it's going to be 2-0. Just
Why are
2-0.
you saying maybe? You
One
are emphatic.
Yes.
question.
2-0. Yes.
The Fulham match. Was the Fulham goal rightly ruled out on
He
that
knows.
day?
We spoke about it. He knows.
The-
They were let out of
Was the
jail.
Fulham goal rightly
They
ruled
were let
out
out
that
of
day?
jail.
Well, it was
Was
a
it
wrong
VAR?
decision. No,
Thank
it was
you.
a wrong decision.
Thank
from
you.
VAR. It was a wrong. They
I-
admitted it.
massive respect.
They also admitted it.
Massive
It was
respect.
a wrong
Okay.
decision.
Anyways, guys, you've heard it. The man from the Blues said they're going to defeat
Just
Brentford by
2-0.
2
Just
goals to
2.
nothing.
2-0.
And Hospi is quite emphatic and ruthless. 4 goals to nil against Nottingham Forest. So let us know what you think. Do you go with your scoreline prediction? For me, let me look at my crystal ball.
With your eyes closed.
Yes.
Yes.
My eyes closed. Now, I second to what Hospi said. 4 goals to nothing is what it's going to be. It's gonna be 4 goals to nothing. I see Jokeres scoring at least a brace in that game
Okay.
because he's going to be having the opportunity, to really do something in that game. I think he's beginning to get into the groove. Anyways, viewers, it is still the offside brought to you by Arsenal fans based globally. Now I want us to look at something that has just happened in the Premier League. The 74-point count charge against Chelsea. Yes, we also, humorously we say Chelsea is using money to buy trophies and all that. And also they are doing some nitty-gritty things that are not good. But this time around, they are the ones that chose to report themselves to the FA. But my point here is, they reported their misnomer to the FA. Why is the FA now taking it up against them? When we have a club side, in quotes, that have been there for how many seasons going? They've defaulted and have 215-point count charges against them. Yet, in the turn of the year, they came and sued the FA and they even won. And yet, no decision has been reached against them. What about Man City? So, do you think it is right for the FA to be taking Chelsea to the cleaners, even though they are my rivals? Let us look at things from the right perspective. Now, I want to look at it. Ospi,
Mm.
what's your view about the FA coming hard on Chelsea, even though they are the ones that came and said, look, we had a challenger who took over the club from the former owners. These are the misnomers we discover. We just want to bring it to your knowledge. And all of a sudden now, they are risking point deduction and some sanctions. Do you think it is an ideal thing for them to do against Chelsea? Considering the fact that we have had club sides that have had issues and that is more than that of Chelsea, and yet nothing has been done. And in the time past, we also saw them taking quick decisions against Nottingham Forest, against Everton. What is wrong in not taking a quick fire decision against City?
Um, first of all, hats off to Todd Bowley and his administration for coming clean. But I also have the feeling that no matter how long they could have waited or wrapped this under the rug, they would have been found out anyways. Um, there is high suspicion of fraud um, happening in the upper rooms of the English game. We have seen how the massive number of charges against a City side stalling. The investigation is dragging out for far too long. And we saw how smaller sites like Everton, their investigation was just like
Quick
that.
fire.
They were just over the line and decisions made. In my opinion, I also have this thought that the Man City charges were even more severe than the Everton charges, but yet still they are yet to arrive at a decision.
So maybe possible the issue of power play.
Yeah, so I feel like there 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 is a lot of collusion happening somewhere, some amount of compromise happening somewhere. So I'm not even jitter right now with even the news of the Chelsea 74 count charges against Chelsea. I know the worst that could happen would be them being hit with financial fines. They pay and they get over the moon. It's just another holiday for them. But I'll tell you, had it been like a side like Arsenal finding themselves in the circus of this, it will
Yeah,
have been a different story
different ball game. True.
all the same.
I agree with you.
So I'll just say let's continue playing by the rules. The the Chelsea's the if you investigate all of these teams that had this influx of foreign investment that just escalated their influence from this level to that level within the twinkle of an eye, including even the PSG, they have a lot of irregularities happening behind the scene. So looking at the 74 count charges for Chelsea, there are a lot of third parties nitty-gritties that were not correct. And I'm also having the feeling that if at some point they extend this investigation, looking at the period where they've even started offering players 7 years, 8 years, 9 years contract, issues like this will be found wanting within the corridors of the Chelsea Football Club. But what am I to say other than what I've just said? This is just power play. It is what it is. We live by the day. Whatever happens, it happens.
Anyway, the man from the Blues, the off camera, the guy said, we'll pay more money. The more money we'll pay. So, what's your take? How do you feel about the decision? Because it's like you committed a crime. Those days growing up, our parents will always tell us that when you do something wrong, you should be the first to come and report yourself. Yes, but that doesn't mean that you're not be disciplined. It's just that the level of discipline is not going to be that huge as compared to when they discover it. Now, the question I want to ask you now is that do you think that the decision, you know, of the FA to investigate more, and also because Chelsea is facing that probability of being sanctioned financially and sanctioned, banned also from, getting into the transfer market to get players, and financially, you guys are going to be sanctioned and asked to pay some fine. Do you think that this count charges that decisions by the FA is something that matches the fact that you chose to report yourself.
Um, when this story was out, I spent the entire day just researching, trying to get in depth to know what's this all
So
about.
like you know how
How
much you guys
I
can
was
know how
how
much that is involved because money is
how grievous are these crimes and what. But let's set the record straight. One, I feel the Tom Bodley era now wants to force clean the room, and that's why they went to the FA. They never expected to have 74 charges coming up. All what they discovered was maybe little backdrop of things, and the FA said, "Okay, you've seen this. Come, let's investigate for you." And when the FA goes deeper, they unearth everything. Now 74 might look like a very big number, but if you commit one crime, it can even constitute 3 or 5 violations according to the laws.
Yeah, sure.
So in that light, so a lot of charges that surmount now to 74. And I think some of the things that the FA might have even discovered, maybe even the top body was not even expecting it. All what you just saw, maybe it was surface things, and say, okay, let me report this, so maybe it's nothing. But for my background information, according to him, when buying the club, when he discovered these things, he withheld 100 million from buying the club. He say because should there be any penalties for this, it will be used. So I feel there are a lot of things playing. Like you said, I think the FA is using the opportunity now, maybe some elements or some factors. So yeah, they know yes, there's something. There was a package for these things. So they will not just come out and say there are 4 count charges at Chelsea or 3 counts. So let's go, because it's scary. How can somebody just be evicted, or you just go 75 counts? You fall, maybe 4 will hold you, 10 will hold you, or even 5. So 75 it looks 74 is very scary. It's very scary. So I think the FA is coming up in order to have compensations for this. But this is not just about Chelsea, it's also about the game. So the FA, every other club is paying attention to this. How they're going to settle it, what is the punishment, and what will be the way forward. It's not just about punishing Chelsea. You can find Chelsea 50 million or 100 or whatsoever, and Chelsea does the same, or Man City. But what are you going to put in place that clubs do not keep repeating this? Other clubs, today's Chelsea, Man City, Everton, and what? And the level of punishment you are going to give. We see point deductions last season. But other clubs, smaller clubs also will be saying, so what are you going to do to Chelsea? We only had 2 or 3 counts or 5. Now Chelsea have 74. Man City had 104. And there is nothing. So the FA needs to go in back and look. It's not just about punishing, but putting the right rules and regulations in order for it not to occur, not to even happen.
I agree with you. I agree with Mickey. It is important that the FA should go into the annals of their book or in their general meeting. Let them put the record straight and know what to do to actually mitigate these things from happening again. But for me personally, I think one of the things that we're going to be looking at, if they choose to go the right way, is they need to bring up the case of Man City. I personally think that this is long overdue because you are quick at addressing the issues of Everton, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, and now we still have this issue for dragging. For how long is it going to be?
They're even thinking of doing an out-of-court settlement with City.
So that's the problem. So it means that it's a power play team. You got the money, you buy your way out. Chelsea knows Todd Bowley had already placed that 100 million. And say, okay, if anything comes up, we use the settlement. So probably the FA is marking that 100 million.
Yes, that could probably be.
Hit the money
that would probably be the point.
So it means that it's just there's no fairness in the Premier League.
There's no fairness anywhere. And talking about fairness in the Premier League, I think we have suffered the most, especially on the pitch, with useless and reckless excuses from the PGMO at the end of the day. And this is one area where I think the English game is losing credibility.
Credibility, all right.
The standard of officiating and some of the administrative arbitrations they are altering there to favor some certain set of people, some certain teams. It's really unfair. You're talking about 115 charges over 3 years, about 3 seasons now. Nothing
Just
has
been
been
telling
done,
on it, and
But
when it
when
comes to
Everton
them,
came up
just
within
sweep.
few months,
Few months,
you
we're talking
know,
about they just
you
go
know,
to bed the next day, the
and
decision is there.
and let's even watch this Chelsea saga. We might be sitting here 6 months from now at the end of this season. This issue has still not been addressed. So let's just be hopeful that things happen for the best.
Anyways, let's hope that things happen for the best, that the Premier League officials, the management will do something remarkable, because this league is known as the most competitive, most advertised, globally accepted. But somehow they're doing certain things that are not going down well with France.
And there's a gigs for the Premier League in these situations, because if big clubs are allowed to do what they want to do over time, you see monopoly over the league, and it will disturb the younger clubs. Maybe it will reach a point you see the likes. What you see in Spain is just Barca, Real Madrid, or what we see in German Bundesliga.
Anyways, we hope that will not
So
come to be.
so they have to regulate every other person.
Right.
And it's not just for Chelsea now. Now Chelsea is in the red. It has to go back to the board to say, okay, let's see our policies. Let's go into their finances, into their dealings. At the end of every market, you are able to get 10 players. How did this deal go through? Let's see transparency in everything. It's not just when there's a crime and everybody.
Where the money came from.
Yes,
But
let's
that's
see
what the
everything.
guys at Etihad did.
Yep.
They were paying top party money. They say, oh, man, you pay this person.
So by the end of every market, maybe the summer or January transfer, every club must present. Therefore, it goes into it.
Talking about risk, there's the risk that is facing us in our society, in Africa, in the nook and cranny. Talking about the risk of drug abuse, and it's something that we've been clamoring against. And Arsenal Sierra Leone are on the verge of fighting this time after time. They've been shooting out a lot of activities. They've been carrying out promos. They've been going out to educate the young ones. Now, before we round up the show, it is important that we bring this to light again, because it's something that we need to do in order to educate our young ones. Because football is one thing that brings all of us in unison. We speak in one language or banter. No matter the divide where you are, there is something that brings us together. Now, Hospi, you've been at the forefront of this. What is your message to young ones? Or before I come to you, let me ask the man from the blues. What is your take about drug abuse in our society? Because we know that Hospi has been at the forefront. It's been pushing a lot of activities towards this direction. So what's your take about the issue of drug abuse?
I think drug abuse now is very more prevalent, and almost everybody. It has even passed the level of age, young, old. Everybody is just involved in drugs. It's not just based on its consumption now, even its trafficking. It's far much worse, and I feel it's not good for our society. Drugs is not good, and the more awareness we raise about drugs, and the more conscious youths are, it's not a recipe for your life challenges. Drugs is never and will never be. It's just worse in it. So for any young person out there, you have to avoid drugs. Imagine if you're a sport person, you involve into drugs, you're just ruining your career. Yes, you might run 100 meters race maybe within less than a minute for a day, for you too.
How long?
But you cannot run it for a month and a year. So we celebrate you only for a day. If you take your tramadol or what, you want to go and play football, okay, you can play for a day or two. You be man of the match. But you cannot be man of the match for a year or even win golden boot. We see now drugs ruin the potential of young players, footballers, young people in every walks of life. So it is best that let us as young people take a responsibility to say no to drugs and avoid drugs. It is our responsibility. It's not about blaming other people. It's not about society. All of these are secondary effects. But primarily, you own your life. So make the decision to say no to drugs.
Wow, that's
Not-
an emphatic one from Mickey. Mickey, thank you very much. We hope that you can take that into cognizance because drug no way help you out in any way. Let's hear from us, Pete, because you've been doing a whole lot of stuff, being at the forefront, driving this course.
Hearing Mickey speak struck something in me. I think this can be a collaborative effort cutting across the football world. I've even started thinking about probably hosting an event, even if it's a jogging event, having all of these club sites represented on the streets of Freetown because this is a menace. And I'm telling you, the constituency that suffers most, that are victimized most by the rampage and impact of these drugs are the youth. And most of them are in these categories of football lovers, sport lovers. We cannot afford to lose them. And we know what addiction does. Most times people don't get out of addiction except they are counseled. And we have limited or probably no access to counselors here in this part of the world. So we are going to take their place. So we'll be bringing these messages to you almost every time we're on set. We'll force down this message on your screens, in your ears, in your eyes. We are going to suffocate you to believe that you have to say no to drugs because it's just a downer. It sends you down the drain within the twinkle of an eye. Do you know how many people I still keep asking the impact that drugs is having on people and their families and their communities? We are losing jewels in this country. We need you. The last time you are not on set, I was talking about drug abuse becoming a little bit endemic in the corporate world. People in bows and ties, hiding behind the ceilings of their offices, hiding in the dark screen, behind the dark screens of their cars, abusing drugs. Some are mild abuses, probably for sexual enhancement. Some for just small enjoyment here and there. But little drops of rain creates a mighty ocean. By the time you know it, you have sunk so deep that you cannot get out of it. So my message to you is avoid that shisha. You think it is a sweet flavored substance that you can just inhale and it's safe. No, it's not safe. The last time myself and Kennedy were talking here, a professional said just one puff, that one draw with the draw, just this one,
7 stick.
It's equal to the nicotine content is almost equal to something like 20 pieces of cigarettes that you smoke. And you think it's not dangerous, it is killing you faster than even tobacco. Before you continue taking this issue, go to tobacco, the lesser evil. But again, I'm saying just say no to drugs. I was just saying which one is the lesser evil here. Just say no to drugs and keep yourself safe. Let's think about putting hands on deck. Let's have a huge event. If it's going to be quarterly, let's keep Sierra Leone. Well, for us here at Arsenal Sierra Leone, we have the structures all around the country. So it's something we can be able to coordinate across the regions and other football clubs can join in to have these penciled in. We have to take this message to them, to the streets where drug is being abused, and to the offices where you are sitting and watching us, that we are talking to you. Please, my brother, please, my sister. A brother of mine was telling me the other day that he had a girlfriend and he called the girlfriend to visit him, and the girlfriend said, buy for me 225. I don't know what is 225.
Tramadol.
Okay, that's tramadol.
Tramadol.
All right. And the guy asked, and the guy asked her why, and the lady was like, I want to have energy for you so that we can have long intercourse period. I was like, oh yeah. So girls are even into this. So we're not only talking about guys, though, even you the girls. Some of you even take this thing they call ecstasy. You say you're enjoying yourself. Every drug has a side effect. And especially a drug that you take that has no direct impact to improve your health, it's going to deteriorate your health. So make use of the opportunity. Now that you are hearing us, work your way out of that addictive situation that you are in. Pass this message. The last thing I'm going to say, there was this timber depot at Hastings where guys were loading timbers to containers. One of these guys, I think he was very high on tramadol. He needed energy to work. And one of the timber just slid from the container. It hit his finger. It cut the finger. The guy did not even notice. Wow. No pain. Somebody saw the finger flipping on the floor and said, "Is that not your finger?" The guy, "Who, me?" And it was, "Oh, yeah, that's my finger. That's my finger." He did not even feel any pain. Yes.
Yeah, it was really
And so
high.
by the time he went home and the tramadol left
And
him,
the pain.
that was when the pain kicked in. Nobody could sleep in that house. So no matter how stressed you are, forget about that ecstasy. It's not going to take away your stress. Use that time to think about solutions. If it is beyond you, commit it to God. Problems that are beyond you are for God. Go on your knees and pray to God. He will find solution for you. But getting yourself indulged in drugs is just going to make your situations bitter, sour, and there is no going back. Thank you.
Wow, that's emphatic. That encapsulates everything that has to do with driving the cause against the use of drugs in our society. Now, this edition of Offside is basically the first time that we're going live on Offside. I will hope that we'll be able to do something remarkable to touch your heart and for you to go to that like button. Just click on it. It's not going to cost you anything. I want to tell you that we appreciate you so much for building this community with us, and together we can do greater things. And now I want to use this opportunity to also invite all of us, all the fan base, Chelsea, United, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Hotspur, Arsenal. The football banter competition is coming over.
Yeah.
And in October, it's going to come huge and big for the first time. The entire fan base are going to come together, and together we're going to fight this issue of drugs. And don't forget that this is the Offside brought to you by Arsenal fans being globally. Until then, keep it tight!
Keep it right. Say no to drugs. Say no to violence.
Thanks.